Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I hope that you are all fine. And you know that we are discussing part ninth, which is about print and censorship. How British from time to time tried to control, tried to regulate the print, tried to regulate the press, and what are the different laws that were passed, different curves, different regulations which were put through which on this British government tried to control, tried to regulate the print and press, the printed material. And in that we have already discussed, we have already started that earlier British took some steps which were not against the Indians, but these were against their own Englishmen who were liberals, liberal Englishmen who wanted that there should be freedom to press, who tried to expose the various policies of the British, the nature of British rule in India, who criticized the British rule in India, who criticized the policies of British rule in India, and who projected British rule in India as a misrule, and who also criticized the these actions of the British governor generals, British officials, company officials in India, and British fear that this criticism will be used in turn by their own critics in England in order to against their this against their trade monopoly in India. So this was a fear created the by such publications, by such printed material. Therefore, British came out and it started trying to control the press first. So it is this measures, it is setups were directly against controlling such waves and such publications. Now, after 1820s, I discussed with you that Supreme Court of Allah, this Calcutta Supreme Court, it passed some regulations, it passed some acts, and through which once again the freedom of press was curtailed, it was controlled, it was regulated in India by the British. And after that, British in its place, in place of the earlier literature which directly was against the British, against the company, British now started encouraging only those newspapers which in a way this praised, which in a way this which supported the British and which celebrated even the British rule in India. So British encouraged only their publication in India. And it was in 1835 when there was various these petitions filed in the this Calcutta Supreme Court that finally by the editors of English and vernacular newspapers, and who finally demanded that there should be freedom of press for them. And finally the Governor General of the time, that is William Bentinck, we discussed that William Bentinck, he took some very good steps because he was a liberal also, and he in a way favored the freedom of press in India, and it was he who finally promised, who revised, who tried to revise the press laws in India. And it was after him immediately he was this replaced by another Governor General, and he finally he revised the press laws, and after him another Governor General whose name was very important and whose name was Lord Metcalfe. He succeeded this Governor General of India, that is Lord Bentinck. He succeeded him, and he was also a liberal person. He also was in favor of freedom of press in India. Therefore, he became the Governor General of India around 1835. And after that, it was he who finally appointed a very important person, that is Thomas or Lord Macaulay जिसको थॉमस बेबिंगटन मैकाले भी कहते हैं. He was famous personality. Why he was famous? Because he had given his famous point, this minute, which is called a Machiavelli minute on Indian education. And he is famous for his famous quote about Indian education is that he said that the that a single shelf of English library, a good English library, is worth the whole native literature of Arabia and India. So it was he who also made the beginning of, who favored the English education in India. And this person is also famous because he was a very famous person. He was a politician. He was also a liberal colonial officer, and he was very important personality, not only educationist but also politician, liberal colonial officer, and he believed in liberalism like this Lord Metcalfe. And therefore what he did is something which is very important. He was, after his appointment, he was already before that the legislative member of कलकत्ता सुप्रीम कोर्ट. कलकत्ता सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऑलरेडी ये लेजिस्लेटिव मेंबर था इससे पहले ही. एंड he was later on during the time of Lord Bentinck, and after that Lord Metcalfe appointed him in order to, Lord Metcalfe ने इसको अपॉइंट कर दिया in order to draft प्रेस एक्ट को ड्राफ्ट करने के लिए which had already been started by लॉ कमीशन, और इसको लॉ कमीशन का मेंबर बनाया गया. उस लॉ कमीशन का मेंबर इसको अपॉइंट किया लॉर्ड मेटकैफ ने, और इसको बोला गया ड्राफ्ट करने के लिए, जो नया प्रेस एक्ट बन रहा था उसको ड्राफ्ट करने के लिए इसको भी एक मेंबर जो है बनाया गया. इसको कहा गया वो ड्राफ्ट एक्ट बनाने के लिए इस प्रेस पे. एंड दिस पर्सन, this Thomas Macaulay, he once again was in favor of giving freedom to press in India. Therefore, he pointed out that existing licensing regulations are wrong, and the press should be given freedom in India. He was in favor of freedom of press. Therefore, what he said was that in his draft that existing licensing regulations are wrong. इसने कहा ये जो licensing regulations अभी एग्जिस्ट हो रहे हैं प्रेस को लेकर, जो रेगुलेशंस लगी है ये कम्प्लीटली सरासर ये गलत है. और इसने कहा कि प्रेस को जो है फ्रीडम मिलनी चाहिए, प्रेस फ्री होना चाहिए इंडिया में. Therefore, this colonial liberal officer, he formulated new rules. इसने कुछ नए रूल्स बनाए through this draft के थ्रू that finally restored freedom of press in India. फाइनली इसने ऐसे कुछ कदम उठाए, इसने ऐसे कुछ लॉज लाए, रूल्स पास किए, जिसकी वजह से जो है finally the freedom which had been earlier curtailed from the press in India, it was once again restored through these new rules framed and drafted by this Thomas Babington Macaulay. However, after that, The situation changed completely in 1857. In 1857, this is very important year because during this year on 10th of May 1857, a revolt broke out. A revolt started in India at Meerut that was called the Revolt of 1857. The Revolt of 1857 जो है स्टार्ट हुआ 10th मई को मेरठ में, और विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम दिस रिवोल्ट इट स्प्रेड टू द होल ऑफ दिस इंडिया except some areas who remained away from it. So after the revolt of India, British once again changed its attitude, and once again they tried to this revolt of 1857 changed the attitude of British towards freedom of press in India. It changed its perception. इसका perception जो है प्रेस को लेकर वो change होने लगा, because now British thought perhaps this press had created awareness, it had awakened the Indians, therefore it changed its bent of mind. इसने अपना दिमाग जो है change कर लिया, इसने अपनी ideology change कर ली, और इसने सोचा कि हमें दोबारा से प्रेस पे सोचना होगा, जो फ्रीडम हमने इस प्रेस को दी थी, we have to once again think on it. And finally, so this revolt of 1857, this revolt of 1857, so it was a turning point. ये एक turning point था इंडिया की हिस्ट्री में, especially in the history of press, because this revolt of 1857, it shook the फाउंडेशन बेसिस ऑफ द ब्रिटिश इन इंडिया. ब्रिटिश एम्पायर की फाउंडेशन बेसिस जो है वो कंप्लीटली जो है वो शुक हो गई. वो इंडिया में कंप्लीटली जो है उनमें जलजला सा आ गया. इतना पावरफुल रिवोल्ट था. दिस वाज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड पावरफुल रिवोल्ट दैट सिंस द एस्टैब्लिशमेंट ऑफ ब्रिटिश एम्पायर इन इंडिया. Therefore, this revolt completely changed the bent of mind of British, and some Englishmen, some Britishers, they were very annoyed. वो बहुत ज़्यादा नाराज थे. They were enraged by the revolt. Therefore, these Englishmen, they demanded a clamp down of Indian press, which is called native press. इन्होंने कहा कि हमें इंडियन प्रेस को बंद करना होगा, क्योंकि इंडियन प्रेस की वजह से ऐसी चीज़ें शाया हो गई, पब्लिश हो गई, जिसकी वजह से रिवोल्ट में जो है रिवोल्ट हो गया इंडिया में. एंड so therefore this British, it because of the demands from various officials who were annoyed by the revolt, who were not happy with the revolt of 1857, and therefore they suggested British that they even demanded that British should clamp down Indian press. उन्होंने कहा कि इंडियन प्रेस को हमें clamp down करना होगा. So therefore, and also newspapers जो थे, newspapers were completely become nationalist. Indian vernacular newspapers वो completely nationalist बन चुके थे. वर्निकुलर न्यूज़पेपर्स, वर्निकुलर जो भी न्यूज़पेपर्स इंडिया के थे, उनमें जो है वो नेशनलिस्ट आइडियोलॉजी को जो है स्प्रेड कर रहे थे. दे वर ट्राइंग टू स्प्रेड द नेशनलिस्ट आइडियोलॉजी इन इंडिया. देयरफॉर ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट डिबेटेड अबाउट इट. ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट ने इस पर डिबेट किया, and they debated on what measures should be taken in order to curb this nationalist ideology, these indigenous press. So they thought of taking such stringent measures or strict measures to control the press. इन्होंने कहा कि हमें बहुत खतरनाक ऐसे कदम उठाने होंगे जिनसे हम completely प्रेस को इंडिया में कंट्रोल करेंगे. So therefore they tried to come up with such measures which would have now put a strict control, strict watch on Indian press, on indigenous or native press. In this context, in 1878, finally, the Viceroy of the then time, whose name was Lord Lytton, who was Viceroy of India from 1876 to 80, finally, in 1878, this person, that is Viceroy of India, Lord Lytton, he finally passed a very famous law called Vernacular Press Act. Finally, Vernacular Press Act was passed. It was passed in 1878 by the Viceroy of the then time, Lord Lytton, and this act, that is Vernacular Press Act, it was completely based on Irish press laws. Completely this Vernacular Press Act, which was passed in 1878, its basis could be found in Irish press laws. इसकी basis बुनियाद जो थी वो इस Irish press laws पे थी. And what is important, what this act provided for? ये act किसके लिए था? It provided the government with extensive rights to censor reports. इसने कहा कि इस एक्ट ने, ये जो वर्निकुलर प्रेस एक्ट था, इट गेव गवर्नमेंट विद एक्सटेंसिव राइट्स, इसने गवर्नमेंट को मोर पावर्स दे दिए, मोर राइट्स दिए टू सेंसर रिपोर्ट्स, कि आप रेगुलेट कर सकते हो रिपोर्ट्स को, एंड आल्सो एडिटोरियल्स that were published in vernacular press. So all the reports and editorials in vernacular, that is Indian press, they were all brought under the control, they were all put under the control, they were regulated by the government now under this Vernacular Press Act. And not only this, now after the passing of this act, इस act के पास होने के बाद, now government kept a very strict watch on the vernacular newspapers that were published in different provinces in different areas. जो भी newspapers publish हो रहे थे बहुत सारे इंडिया के provinces से, now government took interest in them, and government now put a strict watch and ward on them. अब गवर्नमेंट ने उन पे नज़र रखी कि कहाँ से कौन सा न्यूज़पेपर पब्लिश हो रहा था इंडिया में और उसमें क्या छपा जा रहा था. एंड इफ रिपोर्ट वाज फाउंड एज सेडिशियस, अगर रिपोर्ट जो है वो सेडिशियस माना गया, seditious means which was violating the law, if it was found illegal, then the newspaper was first वार्नड, इसको वार्न किया जाता था, इट वाज गिवन ए वार्निंग, इसको एक वार्निंग मिलती थी। एंड इफ द वार्निंग was ignored, if warning was ignored, then press was liable to be seized। पहले प्रेस को, अगर प्रेस कोई ऐसा गलत कुछ छापता था जो लगता था कि वहाँ से उस रीजन से रिपोर्ट किया जाता था कि हाँ इस प्रेस ने जो है गलत छाप दिया, तो उसको पहले वार्निंग दी जाती थी, और अगर वो वार्निंग जो है वो इग्नोर कर देता फिर उस प्रेस को जो है सीज किया जाता था। दिस इज हाउ अंडर द वर्निक्यूलर प्रेस एक्ट दे ट्राई टू कंट्रोल द इंडियन दिस प्रिंट। And this is, and not only this, if after that it was liable to be seized, इसको सीज किया जाता था legally, and print machinery जो है after that print machinery it was confiscated। जो प्रिंट मशीनरी होती थी, सारी प्रिंट मशीनरी वो जब्त की जाती थी। प्रिंटिंग मशीन जो है वो कन्फेस्ट की जाती थी, वो जब्त सारा कुछ किया जाता था जब उस प्रेस के खिलाफ, जब वो प्रेस कोई ऐसा जो है इलीगल लिटरेचर छाप देता है जो गवर्नमेंट के खिलाफ होता है, जिस पे गवर्नमेंट ने ऑलरेडी रेगुलेशंस रखी थी। सो दिस इज अबाउट इट। नाउ वी विल डिस्कस फर्दर in our next this video lecture, that would be inshallah last lecture on this chapter as well as on this ninth part. Thank you.